Hey everyone, I'm Krono, developer relations at Cartridge. We're here with Gogi. Would you like to introduce yourself, Gogi?
Yeah. So I am also an employee at Cartridge. I'm the community lead slash marketing. I've been here for about a year and it's the best team I've ever worked with. And I'm so happy to have Daniel as part of the team because I feel like uh, I need him most of all, I think. So I was very happy when he got hired.
Thanks, Gogi. I appreciate that. We had Gogi in the New York office a few weeks ago, and we just had the best time. So really, really, I will say, like, not to shill the team because obviously I work there and I'm biased, but it's a great group. I think we're all very excited to be a part of it.
For sure. Absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. And I feel a lot more like that every day.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
so
So anyway, what we're here to do today is we're going to basically speed run setting up our new MCP Sensei server. As you all know, we have a Vibe Jam coming up next weekend, June 20th to 22nd. As part of that, we're going to show off our new MCP server to help you all get up and running vibe coding to your absolute limit. And Gogi, who's generally not a technical contributor, doesn't have much of a background, is going to get set up just to see how accessible it is.
here I am.
Fabulous.
Uh,
All right, so here we are. So now going back to the MCP setup guide. Let's pull
yep.
that back up. Okay. So we're back. All right. So basically the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open the command palette. You're going to hit Command Shift and P, and that brings up the kind of any command you want. You start typing it in. So go to cursor, Command Shift P, and then do a cursor settings. Back. Yeah, perfect. Just go there. All right, and now we see, you can even make that a little bit bigger actually, just the cursor window. Yeah, that way we have a little more space to kind of follow along. And you see down there, you see how there's the MCP tools.
Do I see MCP
Yeah.
tools? Where? Oh yeah,
So
there.
on the bar, yeah, exactly. All right, now you're just going to add custom MCP. All right, and now if you go back to the README, just copy the whole, like, not the whole thing, just the Sensei version, because that's going to go, actually, you could just copy the whole thing and replace everything with, yeah, just replace everything in that file with what you copied. Save that. You can just hit Command S.
Command S, yeah, done.
And go back to cursor settings.
Should I exit this
Yeah, you can
or
close that. Doesn't really matter. And now hopefully it should like get itself up and running. I think this is the part that maybe we'll have to kind of try turning it off and then turning it back on. Okay. Let's think about this. Um, do you want to try opening up the terminal? Do you have a terminal anywhere? This is kind of what I had to do when I did it, so maybe that makes sense to have to do it again now. Do you have your terminal anywhere? Like,
Mm,
kind of like,
you mean my actual Apple terminal?
yeah, your actual Apple terminal.
Okay, let's
There it is. Okay. So I think what I did was go back to the normal docs, the setup docs.
yep.
And if you just actually copy the command, like npx, and then go all the way, but without the quotes. Okay. npx and then GitHub Dojo Engine Sensei MCP. Let's see if that gets us anywhere.
It's thinking.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
to proceed, yes.
All righty. Let's see what we get. Perfect. So your Sensei is up and running. Now let's see if Cursor has picked that one up because now it's running on the computer. Let's yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so it seems like, you have to kind of run it once in your command line just to install it. And then once it's installed, then Cursor can pick it up, or maybe actually it would have worked once we installed Node. I'm not sure if which step was the right step, but the point was like now all the steps are correct. So now you have
Right.
Sensei installed, which is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so now I think we can go back to the what do you think? Do you want to go to the vibe sample example? Do you want to just like open up a file and start chatting? I think you're
That was it. So literally setting up the MCP, that's pretty much.
Yeah, that was it. And now when you're in the agent chatting, it'll just query MCP if anything comes up. So if you even if you go back to Cursor now
Yep.
and you open up a chat and you just say like, "Hey, tell me about, Dojo Sensei," and it may or may not come up. It's about, it'll kind of just tell you, it'll kind of make its own judgment about. There it is. Look at that. You have to now it asks for your permission, so you have to hit
Oh,
Command Enter for it to run the tool.
like only once?
No, I think every time it wants to run a command, you basically give it permission
Okay.
so that the AI can't just take over your computer.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. So that was that. I mean, basically, you don't always get to use Sensei when you're typing with the cursor agent. It'll basically decide whether it thinks that it's time to call the MCP server, but
Very
And
cool.
and if you go into the docs, they give you some tips about kind of how to prompt and how to query so that it'll more often rely on the MCP server as a resource. Like if you go down to the use section, it'll kind of give you some best practices and tips for kind of how to make the most of the resource.
But for example, for someone new like me, so it says, please use the Dojo model tool to help me create a model.
Mhm.
Is the Dojo model the very top level of everything you would do, or what exactly is the Dojo model?
Great question. So go back to the cursor configuration that we were at,
Yep.
and now click on the drop down. You see where it says seven tools enabled? So basically, the whole MCP product has multiple different tools, each one of which is a little bit specialized. So like the Dojo config tool knows a lot about configuration. The Dojo model tool knows a lot about making like Dojo models. And so like all of those are installed. And so I think it'll basically ask whichever one it thinks is the most appropriate based on whatever you're asking.
So as a new person, would it make ask Cursor to explain each one of these tools and when it'd be appropriate for me to call upon them?
That is an excellent question. I would say let's try writing that query and seeing what it decides to say.
Would I refer to them as tools or like
I mean, I think at this point, like you're the user, so I think let's see what your process looks like. I don't know. It's not my place to tell you.
and then um, call upon them to make um
Oh, baby, look at that. Look at that high quality content.
That's pretty sick. That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, even for me who like is let's say crypto native but knows nothing about being a developer, this is much more understandable and useful. That's pretty cool. I will admit that's
Right on. Like I'm not gonna. I wasn't sure how good that was gonna go, but that went pretty well.
for sure.
Uh,
Um, that's very cool. All right.
do you
I'm
wanna,
a vibe coder. I'm a full-time vibe coder.
there you go. I'll see you at the Vibe Jam.